Have you ever heard of somebody who abducts little boys?
Room below's got some horrible smells.
We don't want to go in there.
What are you doing?
Complimentary room service. Here is that.
Hello and welcome to another Dollar Store Drive-In. I'm your host, Laura.
I'm Joel.
And we're the Newly Dads. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the show. This is a half-hour chat show where Mr. Newly Dad and I talk about a movie that we've watched. If this is not your first time, welcome back. We appreciate you joining us. But if you want to find out more information about the show, whether this is your first or your 50th episode that you've watched, you can go to our website, which is called thenewlydads.com. On that site, you'll find information about our show. You'll see information about other things that we do. So we do, actually, Mr. Newly Dad does unboxing videos. We do Sinister Snack videos, and sometimes he writes different blog posts. We both are artists, and so we do different, usually just one event every year called the Witches Market, where we vend at that event. That is put on by Wolf Hollow Events, and that is in October. So we like to plug it as early as possible because, it's a fun event that happens. We're here in Northern Illinois, so this happens in Belvidere, Illinois, and there's about 70 plus vendors that come to that event, and we highly recommend that you come see us. But that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about a movie that we've watched, and every single week we've got some criteria for our movie. The first being that it needs to be under $5, it needs to be a horror, thriller, or sci-fi genre movie, and it needs to be a movie that neither of us have ever seen before. So this week we watched a movie that was on a 4-film collection. Do you remember where you got this one?
Hidden Treasures.
Hidden Treasures. Hidden Treasures is located here in Loves Park, Illinois. It's a vintage, antique, I would say like a maker's mall kind of thing where people sell their things. So just think of like a big kind of antique space where there's different booths and things like that. There's hundreds and hundreds of vendors that are in there. It's a really cool place. So if you're in the Northern Illinois area, Southern Wisconsin, Indiana, Iowa, wherever you want to come from, check out Hidden Treasures. It's a really cool spot. So yeah, he found this there. They've got a whole bunch of different things. So sometimes there's people who are like artists selling their stuff, but the majority of it is kind of like vintage or antique kind of things. The 4-film collection, easy for me to say. This week, it looks like it's all like monster kind of creature sort of things. And the movie that we watched is called Octopus. I can't read what it says on the top there. Terror has never run so deep. That's the tagline there for the movie. I am going to read the synopsis so that way we can get some information about the movie, and then we're going to watch the trailer. We definitely know that there's a trailer because it was in the actual thing, although it was kind of like a long version of it, I think, also. That was like a side thing.
Oh, right? Yeah. There was a making a featurette on it that was 25 minutes long.
Yes.
And had a lot more questions and answers while we skimmed it. So
yeah. I'm going to read the synopsis and then we will talk about it. So, Octopus, Armageddon on the high seas. An elite nuclear submarine on a deadly mission to deliver an international terrorist to American authorities travels through a mysterious ocean portal known as the Devil's Eye. 27 ships have disappeared in this area, fueling the legend of a killer mutant octopus. Adrenaline-pounding fear surfaces in the grips of a monster few have ever seen. Even fewer will ever live to tell.
I mean, kind of. Question mark.
Yeah. We've got some thoughts on it. Oh, I'm excited about Crocodile. We're gonna watch some of these other ones in future things, but it's just from Tobe Hooper. Did you know that? Yeah.
Crocodile is?
The crocodile one says.
Huh.
Toby Hooper.
Because he already did a killer alligator crocodile something movie called Eaten Alive back in the day. But
it says Tubi.
Tubi?
Tubi. It says Toby Hooper.
Toby Hooper.
Anyways, so yeah, I think we're gonna watch the trailer, and in order to usher in this trailer, Mr. Newly Dead likes to pop up some fun little animations. That I think that's the best way to put it. Let's just make it a submarine, because that just makes the most sense. And yeah, we're gonna pause it. When we come back, we will watch, or we'll watch the trailer with you, and then when we come back, we will talk about it. So we'll be right back.
Legend speaks of a creature that lives 10,000 feet below the ocean surface. It swims faster than any ship, and its arms are 10 times longer than you. But it's only a legend.
Everybody maintain your position. Everybody hang on! One, sir!
Oh my God.
We're dealing with some kind of giant sea creature.
You know how to pray, Mr. Bickman? Now's the time. Mayday, Mayday. This is the SSN Roosevelt. We are down.
Oh my God!
And we're back. Hopefully you enjoyed the trailer, and Mr. Newly Dead has something in his hands. What is that, sir?
This is my notes. Every time when we watch a film, I will take notes digitally on my iPad, and then I will print them out. And then at the end of the year, Mr. Newly Dead will collect all of these into a flip book that you can check out on our aforementioned website. You can find the last 3 years there, 2023, 2024, and 2025. Eventually I'll have to stop giving up the years, because 2026 will be there soon, and eventually it'll get kind of redundant. Redundant is redundant. So this will give us a guideline, plot points, things that we thought, etc. And we both like to draw while we're watching the films. So there will be pictures you can check out on the website as well. Mrs. Newly Dead has committed to take notes yet again. Last year she was at 100%. This year she's at 100%. Again.
I am.
So those are all being done on her iPad. She doesn't print them out. But I do cut these up, use these for things with my work, and then eventually will be recycled. So, you know, there's a reason for it. But anyway, I'm going to show her what I drew here, which is just a couple things.
Little guy. He's got some little pie eyes, and then a little tentacle. Oh, a couple of little tentacles.
Yeah, I like drawing tentacles. I didn't draw the whole octopus, but sure.
I drew the whole octopus.
You did? What did you draw? You did draw the whole. Look at that. Please don't kill me. Why not?
I know.
He was a naughty octopus. I mean, you know, we don't want any animal to have to die like that, but
I don't know. Hopefully you could see it.
I mean, you should be able to see a little bit of that. And if you're watching it on your TV, on any of the networks that we're on, or on YouTube, maybe, you could maybe check it out. But
I had fun.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
It's a nice looking octopus.
Thank you.
He was a funky octopus in the movie.
Yeah, but, he didn't quite look like this.
That's more traditional.
Yeah.
So Octopus is from 2000, currently sitting at 3.1 out of 10 on the Internet Movie Database. This is a new image production. If you're familiar with The Asylum, they are kind of similar, question mark, you know, kind of dodgy CGI, questionable actors in a just kind of haphazard production. So this is directed by one John Eyres, E-Y-R-E-S, Iris, maybe, I think that, who is known for 1987's Lucifer, not to be confused with the TV show, something called Shadow Chaser, which seems like a fruitless endeavor, Judge and Jury, which could be a lot of things, Irish Jam, which don't know, 2001's Ripper, which I feel like is on our list somewhere in a box or something. I feel like
it does sound familiar.
Lurking somewhere. And something called Monolith, not to be confused with Monolith Monsters, the 50s, 60s B movie. This was written by two folks, Boaz Davidson, who we've come across before, who is known for Mega Snake. The Snake King, with two separate movies, but both had snake in the title.
Very snaky.
X-Ray, which is on the shelf, is a hospital-based horror movie from the 80s. Hot Resort, which is a teen sex comedy from the 80s that I'm pretty sure I watched when I was a kid, not like too young, but in the era of like Hot Dog the movie and Hamburger the motion picture and all those kind of things. This was out there. I think I want to say it's got John Cusack in it, maybe. Spiders, so another kind of nature amok. And then, if you remember, Larva.
Oh, Larva.
Yep.
I do remember Larva.
Yep. We had fun talking about Larva. Mm-hmm. This is also written by Michael D. Weiss, who is known for U.S. SEALs 2, not to be confused with Navy SEALs. The Butterfly Effect 2, not to be confused with the original.
Yeah.
Which, part 2.
We watched that, didn't we?
Butterfly Effect?
2?
I don't think so. I know I've seen the first one. That's the one with Ashton Kutcher.
It is.
But I don't know who's in the second one. Hostel 3, The Garbage Hostel. That's what I'm calling it. Jarhead 3, The Siege.
It's always the sequels and the
it's the Christmas movies, right?
Yeah.
Which Jarhead is a weird anomaly because the first one I want to say had Jake Gyllenhaal in it, and it turned into a franchise somehow. I don't know. And then the Scorpion King 4, Quest for Power. So you notice there's 2s, 3s, and 4s, and they're writing credits. So apparently they're the guy that they hire when they need somebody to write a sequel.
Finish up a series.
Right. This stars Jay Harrington as our lead, who was in Anywhere But Here, the movie with Natalie Portman and was it Susan Sarandon, maybe? I think
that sounds right.
Whatever It Takes, which is another movie that you will recognize the cover the poster when I put it up here. Can't remember who's in it, but you'll know when you see it. American Reunion, the fourth in the American Pie original run before it just became Eugene Levy and a bunch of horny teenagers after that for all the sequels, and then did a bunch of TV. This stars Carolyn Lowry, who was our lead lady, who was in Candyman. She was the
babysitter. Yep.
That got murdered. She was in Problem Child 3, Junior is in Love, which why we needed multiples of Problem Child, I don't know. In Search of a Woman, not to be confused with Scent of a Woman. And something called Vicious Circles. Then we've got Rico Ross, who had 124 credits, actually. And I listed a bunch of them because they got some pretty cool credits here. Unexpected Christmas, because, of course.
That's funny.
The crossovers are insane. My Christmas Grandpa, which sounds like
that's funny.
Something we need to add to the list. Wishmaster, the original Wishmaster.
Oh, okay. My brother loves that movie.
They're on the shelf, and I think we got him the Wishmaster 4 set.
Pretty sure we did.
When I got my copy, I think we got him one for Christmas too. The original Mission Impossible, the Brian De Palma one that led off the franchise that turned into a behemoth. They were in 4 episodes of Doctor Who, the original series, if I remember correctly. They were in Aliens, James Cameron's film. They were in Death Wish 3, which if you see their face, you know who it is. They were in something called Bermuda Tentacles, which I thought was funny because this movie is kind of about a Bermuda Triangle type.
It is. Yeah, very
place.
much. Yeah.
And it involves an octopus. So I was like, 2 movies?
Sure. Yep.
And something called, Stormageddon, which seems like something we probably will see at some point. Stormageddon. And then finally, we've got Martin McDougall, who was in Judge Dredd, the bad one. The Fifth Element, the only one. Saving Private Ryan, which, got
the only one.
Good credits here. Batman Begins.
Wow.
Penelope, the Christina Ricci movie.
Oh, yeah, the pig.
Yep.
Or whatever, yeah.
Edge of Tomorrow, which is the Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt action movie that I think is pretty darn cool, and they actually made an anime version of it too. Super fast-paced, a lot of fun. Venom: The Last Dance, the third one in the Venom cycle. Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. I thought it was interesting that we had 2 people in Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah.
And Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which was the last of the Indiana Jones films, which we still haven't seen. Mm-hmm. Some pretty big name.
Yeah,
credits.
I would say so.
So your 2 leads are in kind of not a lot, and then your 2 extra people are in a bunch of stuff.
That's funny.
Should have maybe flip that around. But anyway, at this point, my lovely wife turns to me and she says,
What'd you think?
okay, so we tend to say this a lot lately, but my kid hung around and watched the movie with us. Sometimes
Kind of.
they leave, sometimes they don't. This time they fell asleep for a while.
They did fall asleep.
And they fell asleep at the worst part because it was right when the movie really started getting crazy. But this starts off in 1962. They've got some clips of JFK. There's a submarine. And it's during the Cuban Missile Crisis is when this starts. And then they jump to 38 years later, and there is an agent that's kind of loosely seems to be based on Jack Ryan. He's kind of an analyst, except that he's got this problem with he won't shoot anybody. He carries a gun, but he's not lethal. And he's matched up against this terrorist who looks like Udo Kier Jr. Kind of, sort of like.
Yeah, kind of.
If Udo Kier and Klaus Kinski had a baby, if you can imagine that. This definitely feels like it falls in line with, like we said, the Asylum films, because right off the bat, when they do underwater shots, it is clearly not underwater. My kid and I were discussing it, that there's no bubbles, the things move around, and there's no like movement, you know, 'cause if you're in water, you can see the water move when you move.
Yeah.
None of that. There's smoke. There's all kinds of stuff that just doesn't happen underwater. Or, I mean, it does, but it doesn't look like it does there.
Lots of screaming fish.
There were actually fish, like a school of fish that are like running away from stuff, and they're screaming.
Yeah.
I've never heard
Ever.
anything underwater make a noise, except for sharks sometimes sound like lions or tigers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's it. Other than that, fish don't really, or well, I guess piranhas do that weird humming noise in the Piranha movie, the Roger Corman thing.
Yeah.
Then you get, what did I say here? Octo dressed like a dude, dressed like an old lady.
That was the beginning.
Yeah, what was that?
Well, okay, so let's just talk about the actual storyline of this. The actual storyline really has nothing to do with the octopus.
It's kind of secondary.
Yeah, the storyline is this evil terrorist is following that Jack Ryan guy, and like, so what was his name? I don't even remember what his name was.
It was Agent Turner.
Okay, so Agent Turner. So Agent Turner, it goes into a restaurant, and he's talking to like this woman and this kid, and he's, you know, talking to this kid or whatever, and he knew who they were, and I don't remember like who those people were.
Well, they were like in the embassy.
Okay.
And they were
eating lunch though.
Right, because they're going to go out and get something, him and his partner or whatever. And I think the partner guy was either the grandfather or the father of the girl.
Oh, okay.
And then that was maybe the granddaughter, the little girl.
Okay. So Agent
they're in, like, an
Turner
embassy
is
type
like,
thing.
you know, hey there, you know, kid or whatever, and she's like,
Future wife. I'm like,
yeah, he was weird.
She was like 8.
Yeah, it was weird. And so as soon as he like goes outside and he's talking to his partner, this old woman comes up and says, "Oh, aren't you a beautiful child?" and is talking to her, and then gives her something, actually distracts her or something like that, like is trying to sell
she's
her
selling
something.
pastries or
Something
baked goods
weird.
of some
Yes,
sort.
and hands her like this weird bag that looks like a hand in a bag, but it's not. It's like a pastry, and drops off a bag. And so
leaves it on
then
accident.
the old lady goes outside, and it's clearly a man dressed up like to pretend that they're an old lady. So it's not a cross
False
dresser or anything like
nose,
that. Yeah.
A mole.
Yeah. And
the
so,
babushka.
yes. And so, they like are panning and like looking at the little girl, and the little girl keeps trying to say, Mom, there's like something wrong with this bag or whatever that was like sitting there. And then they're like looking outside, and they see that the old lady is now outside, and she's slowly transforming back into a guy kind of a thing. So like ripping off some pieces or whatever. And then Agent Turner sees that, I think, and then is like looking at the, you know, hotel, like where they're all at. And the little girl keeps saying, Mom, like there's something wrong. And the mom is just like not listening to the little girl. She's like, shut up. And then all of a sudden she's like, but mom, and then the whole thing blows up and the entire building blows up.
Yeah.
Little girl and everything. And yeah, so then they have to chase the what did you write down?
Udo Kier Jr. is what I called him. But I wrote dude dressed like an old lady. I said Octo dressed like a dude dressed like an old lady. Because at first I was like, maybe it's the octopus.
He was being
But
funny.
It was just a terrorist dressed like an
Yeah.
old lady, but that was
Yep.
actually a dude who was wearing bike shorts and
Yeah.
and they were like getting undressed like little by little as they're going. And when they realize that it's not, because they're like, he even says to his partner, he's like, I'm not looking forward to being that old or something like that. And it's like, why?
Yeah. So then, yeah, they get away, kind of.
Because he won't
And-
shoot her.
Yeah,
Him.
and he turns back and shoots his partner, and then he does end up
The
catching
terrorist.
him. So he ends up catching the terrorist or whatever, and then
Because the terrorist has a car accident because the
Yes.
partner who's already been shot and about to die hits the gas tank.
yes, and it blows the whole thing
blows
up.
up.
And so then he goes and gets him, and then now he has to transport him back, and so that's how they get on the
Submarine.
submarine.
So like it's the way we can get back.
Because you take a submarine.
That's the best way to go. To
Apparently.
go back is to take a submarine through this questionable area where 22 ships have been lost at sea.
And now you've got this terrorist that's like Hannibal Lecter, you know,
Ish,
like he
yeah.
just kept laughing maniacally and like being weird. And he ends up like dislocating his thumb and gets out of the things in the submarine. The storyline makes no sense. I even wrote down, it's horrible. It makes no sense. Just get to the octopusin.
Which is true because like
Just wanted to watch
and
octopuses.
Agent Turner's not a very likable guy. Like
Octopi.
the woman in it is more enjoyable to watch than him. Like she's a more interesting character. She's a
Dynamic.
scientist, analyst, something. She's
Kind
on
of a
the
badass.
right, and
Yeah.
she's on the submarine to do some. She's not even part of the sub either. She's just there to do some like research, but she ends up being like the one that saves the day.
She's like the eye candy. Every single dude in this movie is a horn dog, by the way.
Yeah.
Like everybody wants this girl. Like there's a poker game going on when they first
Strip
get there,
poker.
and she's like almost half naked, and you know whatever. And then she ends up bunking with Agent Turner, and like he's all like watching her while she's like undressing and getting in the shower, and she didn't
Respectfully, of
care.
course.
Yeah. And then she ends up like kissing him at one point. She ends up kissing his boss or whoever the captain of the ship thing is.
Sub-captain, yeah.
Like they could have done without all of that.
And at one point he starts crying, but when he cries, he like blinks really fast. So I called him Blinky McCrybaby.
Yeah.
And I don't know what all the crazy plot points were about, but it was apparently to get to the finale, which before we get there, I have to mention that I think all the budget on this movie was spent on the haircuts because like most of the special effects and everything else was, I mean, you could do in your bathtub.
Oh, it was bad. We could have done better.
Even the dead guys were blinking. There was a lot of shaky cam. My kid even pointed out that like if the camera would stop moving, maybe we could see what was going on because there was just a lot of
Yeah.
like choreography, but you couldn't see any of it.
Yeah. Ash had said that they're trying to be edgy, but it should be campy like that. Then we would have enjoyed it because he kept saying, "Man, this is boring." That's why he fell asleep during it. But yeah, it would have been way more fun if it was just like embrace
If they
the
leaned into it.
octopus and like why do you need all of this like
Like the asylum.
yeah why do
into
you
it.
need all of this like backstory and like all this transporting this to there and all that kind of stuff like that just unnecessary.
And even at one point, the submarine crashes and gets stuck, and they're trying to figure out how to get out. Meanwhile, the octopus is bearing down on them. The submarine's like on its side, but everyone inside the submarine is like this. So apparently, the submarine has some sort of gyroscope inside that keeps it level, even though it's on its side. Everybody's still right side up, and I don't know.
it was weird.
I said that the title of the movie is very misleading. They use Jaws music at one point. They kind of sneak it into the thing, and then, and just to her point about this scientist lady, even at one point when they have to swim through some water because it's starting to fill up the sub with water because the octopus is causing all the things to fail, and so the water's coming in. And she takes off her pants just so she can be in her underwear so they can do close-up shots on her rear end while she's swimming.
They didn't do that with anybody else. Any of the other guys, they're not watching them, underneath the water swimming around. Just her in her underwear, like.
Okay, we get it.
Oh my eyes.
So then you get to the third act, and that's where it really turns into an asylum film because then The octopus is in full display. It's eating people. It's throwing people off the ship. The terrorist decides he's going to set off a bomb because his ride's coming to pick him up and get him out of there. He's taking captives.
Yep.
It just goes completely off the rails.
They end up like getting off the submarine and being saved by a cruise ship, which was already taken over or about to be taken over by the terrorists.
Yep. Who apparently have gotten in touch with him to let them know
How?
that they need to take over the ship.
How did they know
It was
where
already
he was
at
at?
sea. He at one point sent a message
I must have missed
somehow.
that when I was drawing my octopus.
Probably. Maybe. I don't know.
Good Lord.
And one of the points where they're like, they have the bomb and the guy's like, I can defuse it. I'm like, why don't you just throw it off the side? And then they show all the these people that are in the water already, kind of like Titanic, that have already been knocked off the ship. And the other guy's like, well, yeah, I'll just toss it in the water. I'm like, then you're going to kill all the... I don't know. It was a hot mess.
It was a
But it was
a crap
entertaining
show.
in the last 15 minutes. It got kind of entertaining.
And, you know, everybody gets their comeuppance.
And you
so,
get to see an octopus, CGI octopus explode.
Yeah. It was just silly.
It was bizarre.
So what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are, if the last 15 minutes would have been the full hour and 39...
Yeah. My final thoughts are, to quote Ash, this is like Skull Island, but with fish and no good actors.
So, Kong, Skull Island, that's your reference point.
And what would you give it? So our rating scale is, if you had to repurchase this movie, $5 or less, and less meaning however low you want to go, meaning they might have to pay you, how much would you give it?
For the third act alone, I figured it was worth $1.
I said negative $50.
Wow.
I don't ever want to watch that again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyways, all right. So if they don't want to watch this movie, what do you recommend that they watch?
Well, there's a lot of movies with killer things in it. And I went with, instead of going with an asylum title, which probably would have been the easy way out, I went with 1977 Tentacles, which is about a killer octopus in the 70s.
Decent.
And looks a lot more realistic than this did.
Decent.
Decent.
All right. What are we watching next week?
Well, you can't blow it up.
I can't blow it up.
No.
There's more movies to
I
watch.
want to see the Tobe Hooper movie.
I do.
Next week, and I told my kid already, I'm like, hey, you know, because they're always telling us we're watching crap. I said, next week we're watching a real movie with a real director and real stars, and it's a Blu-ray.
Real movie.
So we're watching 2018's
Winchester.
Which we just were discussing the Winchester House not
Which
that long
is
ago.
actually not really that haunted.
Nope. So
Even
we'll
though
have.
it says inspired by true events of the most haunted house in history, which has been debunked. Yeah.
It'll be curious to watch it, and now that you've done some.
I listened to My Victorian Nightmare, which, if you like podcasts, highly recommend. Listen to her from the very beginning. Genevieve Mannion is the host of that show, and she does all of the sound engineering and stuff like that herself. It is phenomenal, especially if you want to learn a little bit about the Victorian era. She's just, chef's kiss. I've been listening
There's
to
a whole episode about the Winchester House.
Yeah, she definitely does. All right. Oof, this is some small print. I'm going to do my best to read it.
Yikers.
Inspired by true events, Winchester is, oh my gosh, set on an isolated stretch of land outside of San Francisco where there sits the world's most haunted house. 7 stories tall with hundreds of rooms. The house has been under construction for decades, but heiress Sarah Winchester, Oscar winner, I'm not going to say who, is not building for herself, for her niece Sarah, or for the troubled doctor who she has summoned. She is building it as an asylum for hundreds of vengeful ghosts. All right, that is Winchester. I'm excited to watch it because I'm excited about the people that are in it, and it is definitely not. Yeah, that is not a haunted house.
It's got a pedigree from toe to tip, so
Yeah.
there's a lot to talk about who's in it and who's involved.
Yeah, and if you do want to hear the true story about it, I highly recommend listening to My Victorian Nightmare. Find the Winchester episode because she does a really great job of telling the truth behind things. And if she messes up, she always says, "Oops, I got that information wrong" or whatever.
And she corrects it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for watching, and until next week.
Keep it cheap and creepy.
Doesn't mean you go chasing the dead.
It may be your robot, but it's my house.
I want to get a close look at these sharks.
Sounds dangerous.
Well, I'll be careful.
Aha! You thought you could surprise me? I'm the octopus,